This is Dr. Vaishali, and I'm reading from the book Substance of Homeopathy, book written by Dr. Rajan Sankaran. Chapter number 44, Staphysagria, Part 2. It is tremendous sensitivity, and its silence seems to demand and warns us of its presence. At the same time, one can see in these people a tremendous guilt about certain things they might have done, and where they feel that they had lost their control, for example, masturbations or violent anger. It is therefore not surprising that staphysagria is seen a lot in puberty and in adolescence, where the demand for self control is at its maximum. The instinct and the passions are more intense, but on the other hand, one's honor and reputation are at stake. And this is also the time when the ego rises fast, but it hurt by superior like parents and teachers, and to control the anger and the passion, to swallow the ego and hurt become a survival mechanism. This is the situation that can have the maximum problem. For example, in his sexuality, a personal intense concern with his honor and reputation will be too embarrassed to express his sexuality and sexuality openly, and this aspect will be suppressed, expressed only in his fantasy. So the rubric is element from embarrassment and sexual mandate. But even this fantasy can produce intense guilt and fear in the staphysagria person. Guilt that he is indulging in such a fantasy, and fear that it may be discovered by others. The whole edifice of the honor and reputation he has built up and guarded will collapse. This led to an intense state of anxiety, a neurotic anxiety with the feeling that somebody is behind him and he constantly keeps looking back. The needs to have perfect control to live far beyond his capacity makes of staphysagria a psychosyphilitic remedy. The psychotic aspect is manifested in the reserved, almost secretive nature and the constant apprehension that others might find his weakness, which is the losing of self-control. And one observation I have made repeatedly in this that the staphysagria patients are very apologetic and apologize for everything. If they have missed their turn in the consultations or not taken the medicine for a few days, if in their follow-up they are not better, they usually blame themselves for it, and they may say, I couldn't notice a significant changes, but this is probably because I was not very regular to taking the medicine. The idea seems to be apologize in advance so that the physician will not point out their mistake later on. This would be very upsetting for them. So, rubric is sensitive to reprimand. Again, another observation is that if they have not done something right, they confess it themselves. Doctor, I am sorry, but I have not stopped the smoking. And incidentally, staphysagria is the main remedy for people who say, I want to stop smoking, but I simply don't have the self-control to do so. In Synthetic Repertory, Volume 2, Tobacco Remedies to Stop Smoking is staphysagria in a 4 mark. Ultimately, when they do give up smoking, they do so impulsively and abruptly. Rubric throws things away. This abrupt, impulsive way of doing things can be seen in the other aspect too. For instance, they store up their anger and it comes out suddenly in one violent outburst. Another confirmation situation for staphysagria is of a suppressed sexual desire. This happens often in the marital conflict. The wife, for some reason, refuses sexual intercourse. The man who needs staphysagria feels tremendous indignation but feels it is below his honor to ask his wife again. So he suppresses the feeling of anger and passion become very sensitive and irritable and snap at the least provocation. The syphilitic aspect is manifested by the destructiveness, violence, and the tendency to kill or commit a suicide out of desperate from being unable to fulfill the very high standard he has set for himself. This is the psychosyphilitic remedy and falls in the cancer miasm. I have found that the staphysagria patients have a tendency to cancer. The main characteristic of staphysagria is extreme sensitivity and reactivity. both emotionally and physically. If you touch staphysagria person at his sensitive point, which is the his honor or reputation and self-respect, there will be an immediate intense reaction, though it is often suppressed. Kant writes, man insulted by someone beneath his station could not react outwardly. Extremely sensitive condition like painful surgical scar or a very sensitive tooth. This in Fata Materia Medica or repertory, it is only remedy listed in the rubric sensitivity and morbidity. This sensitivity could only be found in the plant and not in a metal, salt, or animal. In its nature, it has the softness of the plant rather than the hardness or the competitiveness of the animal. At a point, the staphysagria person can find it too much to keep the control. He then starts showing sign of losing it, and the first signs are found in the anger. During anger, the trembling in the anger, voice lost during anger, face red in anger, weakness after anger, hemiplegia after anger, anger throw things away, strike desire to. These are the first sign of losing self-control. Later, when the situation becomes desperate and he feels demand on him is too much, he throws to the wind all his reputation and honor and become opposite. Example, person of ill repute who is looked down upon and treated with the utmost disrespect. Here we have the rubric libertinism. Harilal, the eldest son of the Mahatma Gandhi, according to me, was in this completely given up state of the staphysagria. He was already born with the staphysagria state inherited from his father. On top of it, he had to live up to the reputation of being the son of Gandhi. He coped very well. First, joined the freedom struggle in South Africa and was imprisoned like his father several times, but soon with increased demand on him, both from society and from his father, superadded to an already sensitive staphysagria state, he gave up completely and took all kind of bad habits, bringing much dishonor to his family. And the staphysagria patient are we see lie somewhere between this extreme and the common theme which links them are a matter of honor and respect, and the internal feeling that they have is of very high reputation to live up to the standard. Some relevant rubrics of staphysagria are ailment from embarrassment, ailment from reproach, ailment from rudeness of others, ailment from loss of place, ailment from scorn, being scorned, abrupt, harsh, anger faced with pale, anger faced with livid, anger about his mistake, breaks things desired to, contradicts disposition to, contradiction is intolerant of cruelty, disobedience, delusion as to greatness of, delusion criticized, delusion humiliated and lowness of other while he is a great, delusion humility and lowness of the other while he is great, delusion people behind him when walking, delusion small things appear, despair of social position, estranged from his wife, excitement, swallow continuously while talking, fire want to throw things into, fear of high places, fear of losing self-control, fear of his position in the society, fear to lose his lucrative position, impetuous, impulse, rash, impulsive, impatient, kill desire to, lascivious, liar, libertinism, malicious, nymphomania, absence, reserved, rudeness of naughty children, sensitive to moral impression, sensitive to reprimand, sensitive to rudeness, sensitive want of sensitiveness, temerity, throw things at person who offend, unfortunate fills. Food cravings for of staphysagria are alcohol, bread, fruits, juicy things, liquid food, meat must have, milk, gold, onion, raw, sour food, spicy, stimulant, tobacco and smoking. And dream of staphysagria are amorous, anger, exasperation, which is a single symptom, fight, humiliation, mortification, quarrels, shameful, and of vexation.